Hey everybody, welcome back to North Knives. My name is Andrew and I wanted to really quickly tell you about some deals going on from MossyOak. They sent out a few different blades to the channel, let people know about some discount blades and budget blades that they're releasing this year. And when they're out of stock, I think they're out of stock. But if you can find them right now, they're a pretty decent deal. They're very affordable. This happens to be their Overwatch, which is like a Bowie style, almost like light machete style with a faux, not real saw on the back. There is not a swedge, although it kind of looks like a swedge. And you're generally looking at some sort of like 3CR MOV steel, something compatible to that. I've done chopping and cutting with this one. It happens to have a rubberized overmolded style handle. It's actually really comfortable, and it's got a hook here and quite a large, generous guard. And then you have a large finger trail for choking up if that's what you need to do. The blade does come down to a very traditional Bowie style, but it's black, it's all blacked out, it's non-reflective, and with the sheath on the back side, you actually have two pockets. One is for your like magnesium, and then another for a ferro rod, whatever you choose to switch out, so you could use it as somewhat of a survival style knife, I suppose. Really great budget option. Has a fabric sheath that you can see here, but it also has underneath that a hard plastic liner, so it's not just going to shoot through the fabric, because that would not be preferable. So it has a protector in there and a belt loop that's going to fit a 2-incher as well. If you have a large belt or some sort of strap to wear this on, kind of works well as an overland machete. Then they also sent out a pair of hunting style blades, also fabric sheath, nothing on the back on these ones, but you have the same 2-inch capable, or a 1.75 at the very least inch capable belt loop, plastic hard case on the inside. This is their gut hook version. So you've got a gut hook on the back. I did actually use this to process a little bit of a whitetail this year. Lots of belly. Again, similar steel, and you do have that coating on there. These have a camo design handle, and it's kind of nice. It's smoothed out. It's not really hot spots on it. It's a reasonable handle to grab onto. Gives you something. I have XL size hands. You can see it's big enough for me, and I can still get some dexterity and make cuts a little bit closer if I want to be careful. And if you're worried about gut cavity, you can just turn this guy around and run it up using the gut hook on the other side. This blade, it would work for a left-hander or right-hander, but the sheath is set up in this orientation right here, which is the same for a Tonto model. Everything is generally the same for the sheath, but the blade itself is a Tonto, and you do have a little bit of a thumb ramp there to stop your hand from going forward. Really lightweight. These feel incredibly lightweight. They're not super thick, and they did come pretty sharp. This one is, it's stout enough to be tough enough, but it's slicey as well. And it has the same feature with the sheath, with a cross over the hilt and the guard to lock down in that direction. And then lastly, another Bowie. This one has more of a traditional feel. It's got a leather sheath with some reinforced stitching, and there is kind of a filler in the middle, so you're not going to cut through your threads on your stitching. You have two clips or clasps for buttons to hold it down, and then you have, if I can show you here, about a 1.75, 1.5 inch belt is going to work fine with this one. It has a brass guard underneath, and again, it looks to be something like a 3CR MOV steel. Pretty broad, if you can see. It's about, must be about 1.8 inches, somewhere in there for broadness. You do have this sweep down with the traditional Bowie style and a secondary grind at the edge. It did not chip out on me when I was chopping a bunch of buckthorn, which is really hard. It's like harder than ironwood. And the handle itself looks to be oak with some brass pins run through there, so the pins match the guard as well as the heel of the blade, and it is a full tang to my eye all the way through, so that's going to give you some strength from this end to this end. It's not a handle that's attached to a blade, it's a blade and handle out of the same piece of steel. A little bit of strength coming from something like that, and instead of a flat portion like the Overwatch had, this one actually gives you a place for your fingers. You can choke up a little closer. The guard is smaller for the thumb, so you can get closer for doing finer work. And I think you could actually run a fire steel on this one as well as the Overwatch with not too much trouble. It is not a sharpened swedge. It is robust, but it's not really thick. It still gives it some sliciness, and it can pass through material reasonably well. Again, these are really budget blades, very, very affordable. They're not gonna break the bank, and if you've got somebody who's old enough to own one, mess around with one, they'd probably have a good time with them. So again, MossyOak, thanks for sending these out to North Knives. A few budget blades that you could get for the knife enthusiast or somebody who's just getting into it.